Let's watch a couple of these videos of that Louisville plane crash. Viewer discretion is advised. Trigger warning. So here's the airplane right there. This is UPS in Louisville, Kentucky. The engine catches on fire. The engine falls, but it was right at the end of the runway, and so there's a question about whether or not, do you accelerate? Do you stop? I feel like if an engine drops, you try to stop as best as possible. If an engine drops, you should just hit the brakes. I don't know if that would have helped or not, but if you were wondering, if you had, you're a pilot and you are considering these scenarios, if you're at the end of the runway and the engine falls off, the right decision would be to stop, because they say that once you get going, it was going 200 miles per hour. So since it was going 200 miles per hour and it was at the end of the runway, I don't even know if they tried to stop it or not.
Все загорел.
¡Oh my God!
Ay, pinga.
¡Corre para atrás, papi! ¿Viste? Te lo estoy diciendo, Dios mío.
Ay, pinga.
¡Ay, Dios mío!
Pero que pinga.
¡Ay!
Vamos a ver.
Papi, cuidado.
Mira.
That is a crazy crash. November 4th. Here's another video where the guy pretty much catches the whole thing on his dash camera. He's driving towards it, and watch. It hits the electric lines, and you can see a spark. It's interesting about the people who are running, because if you're in the line of the airplane's going to slide for a mile. So it barely lifts up. It only gets up over a wall or something. So it just, the runway is right there. And then it slides for a mile. And so I'm not sure if it was just a bunch of homes, industries. I'm not sure exactly what it ran into, but you just got a mile's worth of destruction. And you saw the explosion. The explosion was huge. It was going to Hawaii, so it had 34,000 gallons. It had 34,000 gallons of jet fuel, which was supposedly 3 times the amount of jet fuel that the 9/11 terrorists had in their airplane. But just interesting how they're running, which is smart, right? Some people are very much, you saw 2 runners right there. That other guy, he ran and he jumped over the banister from that first video. The plane's already, going by, and you'll have to deal with the fire. But if you're in the line, the 1 mile line of destruction, there's a guy who was in an RV. I mean, I wonder, I don't know. I'd like to see the videos of the close calls where the people live, where the people survive. Because if it just lands on, apparently that 12 people have been killed. So at first UPS says, we cannot report any injuries at this moment. None? You can't report any, because it looks like, just looking at the fucking explosion, everybody that was in the plane's dead and anybody that was around that plane is dead. But they couldn't report any injuries. And then that guy earlier, you saw that truck, which he backed out and he's going that direction, but I guess he's got to go back home, right? So he's got to aim his vehicle back to the house. He kind of drives towards it, doesn't he? In the very beginning right here, this truck backs out, and then he backs towards this other truck, and then, kind of is angled kind of towards it. This guy, he's a good runner. This guy isn't too hot of a runner. And it probably won't even touch the tires. And then in terms of trying to protect the property, right? So basically, the incident has already happened. Now you need to fight the fire, get some water hoses and try to, I don't know, cut the limbs off the tree or something. Water hoses soak the fences, soak all the wood. So it's just interesting how people react to crazy shit. There's another video. I mean, that is nuts. That's like, it looks like Hollywood, but more real, more devastating, fucking psycho, right? And so this is, you want to blame somebody, right? 12 people are dead, including a kid. And just watching all those images coming out of Palestine, I'm glad that I'm not desensitized to any of this shit. This is horrendous. This is terrible. The ceasefire, there's been 204 people who have been killed during the ceasefire, including this toddler who lived, but his whole family was killed. Mother, father, all his siblings. So 204 Palestinians being killed since the ceasefire is a lot more than 12. But this is tragic. And this is, an accident. What they're enduring is shit that's intentional. Intentional bombings. Intentional destructions. I even saw like this one video that kind of looked like a little mini nuclear warhead because the bomb exploded into a mushroom cloud. And I know that they got like tactical nukes out there. Tactical nukes, and then there's like Davy Crockett projectiles, there's B-61-12s. So they got these low yield nukes, US Navy. 5 kiloton nuke is W-76-2, the SATM, Special Atomic Demolition Munitions. The W-54 is the smallest nuke in America's arsenal, W-54. And then large thermobaric bombs also explode into a mushroom cloud, so, maybe it wasn't a nuclear bomb, but man, just to compare and contrast. So when I think about the liability, who's going to get blamed? We watch this guy right here, he jumps over the banister and then gets the hell out of Dodge.
Что загорел?
¡Oh my god!
Ay, pinga.
¡Corre para atrás, papi! ¿Viste? Te lo estoy diciendo, Dios mío.
Kind of makes you think about the end times. Thank goodness it was an accident, right? We have nuclear weapons, which means humanity can wipe out humanity. Albert Einstein, he said that if man doesn't end war, then war will end man. So Jesus said during the end times, right, just when it begins, just go. Whether it's plagues or, bombings or whatever the hell it is. So I got one more video here. That is a crazy view. You actually see it roll, right? And that's why, if you see it again, that's why it goes a mile, because it turns and then it falls on a knife's edge and then it just keeps going. So ultimately, who's to blame? It was an accident. I don't know if you could blame the pilots or not. Probably maintenance. I don't know how old of a plane it was. Maybe the parts. Engines aren't supposed to catch on fire and just fall off, UPS, can you sue UPS for it? I mean, they said that they didn't know about any injuries. None? You saw this video and you're like, I don't think there's any injuries. There's deaths. There's at least 12 people have died, so there's injuries.